It was an exciting day here at Lakes High School. They were breaking ground on the field house, and they hit a power line and our power went out.
We had heard rumblings of something happening. We knew there was some disease virus that was going around, especially out west, and that it was headed our way. The morning was fine. It was probably about mid-morning that I got called over to a meeting at district office, in which we found out that it was even worse than I had anticipated, and that we were going to be closing.
Last hour, the president declared a national emergency. I have determined that we will close all K-12 schools, public and private, statewide, starting Tuesday, March 17th through March 30th.
Once we got home, it's like, all right, cool. We have a little bit of extended break coming. So, because I think it was right around spring break time, so.
At the time, we thought it was going to be a short-term close.
I thought, oh, we'll just be back in 3 weeks. Like, no big deal. We'll figure this out.
I think everybody was cautiously optimistic because everybody kept saying 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. It's like just an extended spring break.
I figured maybe a month, but I figured we'd come back, finish the year.
Folks, I've said time and time again, my decisions are hard ones, but they will follow the science. And the science says our students can't go back to their normal routine. Therefore, I am suspending in-person learning in schools for the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year.
At that point, I wasn't really surprised that we were closed for the rest of the year, but I was heartbroken. I wasn't sleeping well. Because we were completely asynchronous, I was sleeping for a few hours and then I would watch Netflix until the birds started chirping, and then I'd go back to bed. And then if I had a meeting with somebody, I was obviously up in time for that, or if I was meeting with students and whatever else. But it was like a real weird stress that I think a lot of us could probably sympathize with.
Not in the building for the rest of the year. Slight panic because I've been teaching for too long. Old dog had to learn some new tricks, so pivoted and did what we had to do.
What are we going to do, and how are we still going to supply a rigorous quality instruction for our students in science while trying to do hands-on experiences, because we value that experience for our students?
Routine is super important, and I never considered myself a creature of routine, but getting out of a routine really messes with your entire sense of well-being and just the way you function in the world. And I saw that happening with students. I saw that happening with teachers. Losing that sense of routine and that sense of normalcy flipped everything on its head, and everything became kind of like working through a fog. And that was really hard to get out of that funk.
Sports are a special thing for a lot of reasons, but our student athletes and our coaches that work so hard and so tirelessly for what they love, that opportunity to compete, to represent their school. So that my initial gut reaction when sports were formally canceled was sadness.
Heartbroken, absolutely heartbroken. I mean, to think about your senior spring season, for some of our athletes, they waited all year to get to spring because they were only spring sport athletes, and it was just in the blink of an eye gone for them. And for some, competing for state championships on the track were lost for that, or competing for the last time in their sport because they're not going to go off to college and play sports. I was absolutely heartbroken.
I
I learned that I am far more flexible with my education than I knew, with the different ways that I can approach teaching. I also learned how much the personal interactions to students, I knew it, but how much I missed those. Those personal interactions mean more to me than anything.
Our main concern was trying to just give the students as best of a fine arts experience as we could without truly being in the arena that we're used to being. So that was the challenge, and our staff did an amazing job of rising to that challenge. I think about what Dan Esquivel did with putting together he basically became a movie director. He was no longer the theater teacher, he was directing movies. And musically, we learned a lot about processing and production, music production. Once the spring hit, we were able to do more regular stuff, and then the concern was, okay, how do we not only continue to feed our kids and give the kids a good experience, but every artist needs an audience. So how do we welcome in an audience now and be safe and fair, and who do we let in? But the main thing was to try to give our students the best experience that we could in spite of the scene we were in.
People never gave up. I've got some friends that left education this year that said, that's it, I've had enough, and they're out. They are not in this district, they're not in this building. Our teachers in this building stood up and across the district stood up and said, we're gonna do what we can to get through this. Take one day at a time, take one meeting at a time, take one class at a time, and do everything we can to give our students and ourselves the best opportunity for education that we can.
The amount of compassion and grace and trust that was shown to our staff by parents, to our staff by students, to our students by staff, the ability to really work towards providing that best education, and the trust that our parents and students showed in us, and the fact that we were able to uphold that trust and provide high quality education in a really difficult circumstance.
I think for me though, the biggest realization is that teaching is not about the school building. Your students can be successful, and you can be successful as a teacher and as a colleague as long as you work at it. Like, it's not about the school, it's about the people.
I just think this district just hit a home run, taking in all the things that we're changing daily and being able to pivot and just being able to be open ears, open eyes, open mouth, that consistency with intake and outtake, and trying to make the best decision to put the kids first. And I thought we did the best job of putting kids first and putting their interests and needs ahead of everything else.
It's been a long journey since March 2020, and the past year has challenged us all in different ways. But the future is bright. Our best days are ahead of us. At District 117, we're excited for what tomorrow will bring, and we're ready for whatever lies ahead.
We're excited and we're ready.
I can't wait for this year. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so much fun to have a full classroom.
I'm excited that we're starting with everybody in. From day one, we're going to get to make those connections, and we're going to get to build those relationships.
What I'm most excited about is that our kids are going to have a full year experience.
Together, we will succeed, ready to meet whatever new challenges and experiences come our way. Together, we will achieve and be ready for tomorrow.
I love that, seeing our students go out into the world and go towards their dreams and go towards their future, and there's so much potential, there's so much possibility, and knowing that it's a fresh start and a chance to continue to grow and continue to change and continue to figure out who they are and to blossom is one of the coolest things that I can see.
That situation, I think that really brought us together as a group. You know, just like our t-shirts said, we're better together.
We thrive on students, right? We thrive on their energy, and that has been missing.
I'm looking forward to everything outside the classroom, from Friday night football games and all the way to prom and everything in between. Bring it all back. Bring it all back. Let's go.
We are a social creature, and education is a social endeavor.
I'm most looking forward to just the excitement of having everybody back in school. It makes me happy to see that and be able to provide that for the kids.
When we all get together like that, that's when we all grow, and that's where we can say that high tide raises all ships.
Lakes is back! Antioch is back.
Lakes is back!
Antioch is back.
Lakes is back!
Hey, Sequoids, we're back!
Lakes, we're back!
Antioch is back. District 117 is back.